Hello, boys.
Hello, Samuel.
Howdy.
How's it going?
Good.
Bit better.
We've been sitting around setting up the room for about 4 hours. Before we get started, I've got something that I want to touch on real quick. I don't know if you guys seen, but the NFL sort of posted the up-to-date passing leaders for the week. 44-year-old Brady sitting at number one.
Totally unexpected. Sure.
yards. Derek Carr sitting at second, maHomes third, Stafford fourth, Prescott fifth. How do you guys see that panning out for the rest of the season?
Derek Carr's not going to stay up there.
Well, he might have to, just because if their defense continues to leak points, he's going to have to keep throwing, right? It's like
True.
It's like when Matty Stafford threw 5,000 yards. I am surprised that Brady's thrown for as much. I think in one of our previous podcasts, I suggested that he would just naturally have to find balance. He's clearly feeling good, and he clearly doesn't trust to run as much.
Dude, that's what I'm getting at.
And he's calling his own offense. So
Could he have his best ever season at 44 years old?
Of course he could. There's no. He
I'm not
at
doubting
this stage. Yeah, at this stage, anything where you say, "Can he do X?" You just assume he can, because you just doubt him for years and years and years. I'm over doubting him. He just is.
yeah, I'm no longer in the business of writing off Brady.
No, and I'm definitely not going to be the one to say surely he's about to decline. This is his last year.
The
This
Max
is
Kellerman treatment.
Yes,
And
exactly.
considering they can't really get their run game going too well either, he's sort of taken it on his back, and
Which is kind of not an odd one, but if you look at kind of where he came from, I don't want to say he's a product of Belichick or anything, but Fournette's a serviceable back, and he'll always get you those tough yards. It's interesting that they don't really have a scheme similar to how New England ran it, where they just had nobodies in the backfield, right? Running back by committee. The scheme just got them the chunk yardage, and they don't really do that. I think Brady's just trusting in his receivers, and they're stacked at receiver. So, why not?
I was about to say, he's just playing to the strength of his offense, and he's acquired a bunch of toys to play with. And I think this is the loudest complaint you could hear from Brady about his time in New England. Like, these are the toys he wanted to be playing with.
Yep.
And he is flexing on Belichick by having these toys and playing with them. So credit to him. I mean, the fact that his arm allegedly doesn't seem that sore, we'll see when it gets a bit colder later in the year. But
true.
I believe you, Curtis, like your first...
it won't get too cold in Tampa.
Exactly right. So I think that played in the fact his final... Well, apparently the only two teams who offered him were LA, the Chargers, and Tampa Bay, which worked bad. You know, they weren't cold cities, which I'm sure he was excited to get away
And
from.
he wanted to go the 49ers.
Yeah.
And they turned him down.
To across the all across like the four corners of the states there. He wanted to go there. He was playing four corners. But I think in your first episode on the pod, Curtis, you actually it wasn't even a smoky. You declared him as your most likely MVP.
Yeah,
and
I did.
I poo-pooed that, and now it's coming to fruition.
I think it's not a hard bet to make. I mean, betting on Brady's never a hard bet to make, right? And he's had those down seasons across his career with New England, but he's always bounced back. And I think he's just in a situation now where it probably sounds cliche, but it just seems like he's having more fun playing football. And I think that's something that makes you play your best football.
100% being happy, I think, is a safe bet. But I just thought, obviously he's been playing well enough to win, but he just hasn't looked like an MVP as far as MVP standards go since 2007 season or whatever, when they threw for, they broke all those records. The famous 19-1 season or whatever. He hasn't just looked like an MVP. He's just been the guy who knows how to win. And he will use everyone on the team to make that happen. This year, though, it's another story, and I don't know how he's physically doing that at age 44. It's ridiculous.
Who was number 2 again? Passing leader?
A car.
Yeah, okay. So I did want to just touch on the Raiders a little bit after that game. Is it just kind of, with Gruden now gone, does it almost seem, because I have to think that a bunch of those dudes in that locker room and in that coaching staff were happy to see him leave.
Especially after news, 100%.
Right? So once he's gone, it's almost like the team rallies even harder. And it's one of those weird situations too. The Raiders are a good team.
Their defense actually played pretty well. I mean, it's the Broncos, but...
Yeah, still. Broncos haven't been terrible this year. But it's one of those things too where normally when this kind of thing happens, this is a really crappy situation. The team sucks. They've got a losing record. They've been trashed for years. Coach is fired, GM fired.
Yeah.
And so then, for the rest of the year, it's just a terrible team with a terrible interim coach. But this is a unique situation where it's like this team was rolling and with or without Gruden, it looks like they can continue to roll. Yeah. There'll be some bumpy spots, but...
Well, this is one of those situations that it was like that heightened emotion game after such a big thing. And by all means, apparently, Kyle Nassib is a massive, big guy in the presence. So a lot of guys wanted to play for him.
Yep.
So I can imagine that played into it. I think sometimes when you have a highly emotional game like that, there is a really sharp cliff on the back end of it.
Hangover.
that was kind of like what I was trying to get at with my Justin Fields bet when he was making his debut, and I just put the house on him basically, and it went the complete opposite. Most of the time, it actually ends up pretty well. And like if there's a coach that gets sacked, it's very often. How often do we see that the team comes out and they actually pull off a win?
Very rare.
So, but anyway, if you had to pick one of those five after six weeks in, who do you see carrying it out?
Brady.
Carrying it out as in passing leader.
Yep, passing leader at the end of the year.
Remind me who 4 and 5 was on. Dak was there.
You got Mahomes, Stafford, and Prescott.
Yeah, I think Dak's the one that can challenge
You have to pick one.
And we're talking passing yards.
We're literally like the 200 yards apart at the moment.
And we're talking. And when you say passing leader, you're talking passing yards.
Passing yards, just passing yards.
Your boy Mahomes.
Mahomes, yeah.
Your defense is not getting any better. And like Derek Carr, he's going to have to pass a lot, especially with another running back on IR for you now.
Yeah. Well, Jones is going back to his, defensive tackle. So that's a plus. Sorensen got benched and Thornhill started, and we actually played pretty well.
Aren't you getting Gay back next week as well?
Points. Who's that?
Aren't you getting Gay back next week?
He played on the weekend.
Oh, okay.
He didn't get that many snaps, but they're just sort of working him in because he is very injury prone. But anyway.
So you reckon Mahomes?
Mahomes.
I say Brady. What do you say?
Man, this is on the record, right?
I'm not going to go Prescott because Elliott's playing too well again
and Pollard,
somehow.
And Pollard.
And Pollard, yeah.
So I'm pretty sure Stafford's got the Lions this week, so he's probably going to throw for 1,000 yards there.
Stafford's a good bet.
But then again, like someone like Mahomes and Carr, whose defenses will probably struggle all year, they're going to find themselves having to chase games and get a lot of...
And your schedule isn't exactly kind to you either. By yours, I mean the Chiefs.
I'm going to go Stafford. I think he has a big game this week. I think he creeps up on Brady all year. And Brady, I don't think Brady cares too much about getting the top thing.
If he takes a game where he only throws for 100 yards or something, he's going to do it.
Yeah,
if it means winning the game.
He's done that.
I'm going to add an asterisk. I would put Stafford up there for passing touchdowns.
Yeah,
I'm sticking with my home bet for yardage.
Okay, we're all three. We'll keep track of this. And anyway,
I'll go Stafford touchdown. That could be anyone. Like that could be home. Like how else do you guys score in the red zone anyway? You just flip it off to. So maybe I've just done myself in there. Mahomes right there seconded with one touchdown off. But
just the shovel passes and things. Yeah. Anyway, you guys got favorite plays?
I'll start us off because I don't think you guys like the same one. You know me, I love picking obscure ones.
Yeah.
I was up around close to midnight watching the London game of Jacksonville and who were the rest in the
Miami.
And I saw Jacksonville, Urban Meyer, despite himself collecting their first victory. They are still 20-0. Since that 0-1 tweet in America is the meme it's going to.
Okay, true.
So they've moved it now to 20-0 since that tweet in America.
Maybe Shad Khan just needs to keep him there now, right?
That's the argument. Everyone's been saying
just stay there. Don't come home. Just stay there and you'll continue the win streak.
Well, they're slowly building there. They've got the most games there. But 2 field goals got them to tie it up and to eventually win. And they, as all the statisticians have been talking about, we're the only team to not kick a field goal through the first 5 weeks of the season. Insert Matty Wright. He missed a field goal, his one attempt from over 50 last week, and then was called upon, as we're still working out
how to do this.
Our prop design here on the set. But Matt Wright came in, had a freaking 50-yarder to tie the game. Obviously kicked a game winner as well. But did you guys see the one that he had to kick to tie it up from 53?
The one that seemed to curve unnecessarily, like the soccer,
ball?
the knuckleball.
Knuckleball, and I'm like, of course it's going to be kicked in Hotspur Stadium in England.
Yep.
You know, the only other place it could have been was Wembley. But if you see this kick, it like they call it. I think it was
so far.
Yeah, is it Haaland who immediately goes, kick is up, and immediately goes, nope. And it goes, wait, whoa. It's good. It swings like a good 4.5 yards back to the inside of the right upright. It's ridiculous. It's one of the craziest kicks I've seen.
And heartbreaking if you're a Miami fan too, because you're seeing it and it's not good. You know it's not good until the last minute when it just swings back in.
Kicking game this year has been the same. We talked about last week about the kick from the Bengals that went over the top upright. We've already seen a 66-yard kick from Tucker this year. That's still the craziest kick we've seen, though. That was how far wide right that was for it to somehow come back. I will never understand. But it was an insane knuckle.
Something in the water in London.
More in the wind, perhaps. But that's my. I've got a second one.
Speaking about field goals, how about the Bills not going for the tie? On 4th and 1.
Yep.
How do you guys feel about it? Because I'm locked and loaded about that.
Like track record of field goals these days probably misses it. But I think if you got Josh Allen 1 yard out, and I think it goes all back to that, like trying to control the clock and everything like that. But
it's play the game effectively.
I think it's a hard one, man.
For me, it's like just break it down to percentages. Do you really think at the goal line, at worst, you're a 50-50 chance? I would argue with the offenses you're running in and the big Western lad in Allen in the background, you're better than casino odds.
Yep.
No one can be mad about them going for that. You're really going to say your odds are that much better kicking it off and backing a chance behind a coin flip? I think your best odds there, you've probably at about 51%. Yeah. I don't know how anyone's mad. It's just retrospect. Yep. No one's doubting the decision if you get it.
No one's doubting it. That's the problem, right? And it's also one of those things where it's people put a lot into emotion. Like, does it feel safe to go for it here? Does it feel? But then that's going to throw you off. I would say 9 times out of 10, the analytics say you go for it, right?
And it's one of those situations that generally, if you've just scored and you're going for the 2-point conversion, your offense has just beaten that defense down the field to get there. Who's rolling? Who's got the confidence?
Who's got the momentum?
Now? Yeah. You know, and I just think it comes down to decisions like that. It comes down to a small percentage break, and all you can do is back where unless you're a really bad goal line team.
Yes.
You know.
Unless your O-line just has never been able to get a push. Like, you can't even get an inch on that D-line.
Yeah, like you're a strict.
And like Titans leak almost 30 points every game. Like, and they hold him out at 1 yard out.
I mean, it's not the 80. It's not like you're playing the 85 Bears.
No, exactly.
You know, no one can be mad about the decision. I was 100% in support of it. You're just killing time. Like, going to overtime does not help your chances of winning at all. I'm loving the new logic of going for it and like, you know, modern day football.
Yep.
Makes no sense not to finish the game there and then. You know, I think overtime losses suck anyway. I'd rather lose like that anyway. So I don't know. Are we in agreement here, or am I?
I agree. I would have gone for it.
I think that's a good segue. A good segue to my favorite play. Did you guys see the Julio catch? Where it bounced,
dude, that was gangster.
And he had the wherewithal because you see everyone around him is just like plays dead. And that's one of those things that makes those good players, like a good player, great, right? You're constantly, until that whistle is blown, and even for a while afterwards, you're still on, you're still playing, it's still live. What can I do to make a play?
Yep.
He tracks that ball in a second. It's right above him. How he even sees it, I mean, we've all worn helmets. It's tunnel vision. How he even sees it and then tracks it and gets both feet inbound.
Yeah, that's insane.
Oh, my God. And what I really liked about it is that Titans haven't really used Julio, and Julio hasn't played the way he played in Atlanta. You know what I mean? Julio.
Well, he was kind of like number one guy there, and then like AJ Brown, he's number one guy receiver wise at Tennessee for sure.
Yep. Yeah.
And then when you got someone like Derrick Henry, who's
target.
just
Derrick Henry,
holy
is just
shit.
running like a truck.
I'm going to touch it. I'm going to touch on Derrick Henry later. But anyway, my favorite play is from I was frothing it in the group chat, the Trayvon Diggs interception,
Pick six,
which was a gangster play, but then which led to Mac Jones going straight
Kevin
back
Bourne?
at him.
Yeah.
Straight back at him. Yep.
The next play,
Kendrick Bourne.
they've just thrown a pick at him. He goes straight back at him, and they throw a six.
I think we're accepting it.
We're accepting it. Next time.
And they run 75 yards down the field, and they score. Right?
Yep.
Which then the internet took over, which was hilarious. And I saw a meme, and I thought it was hilarious. That Trayvon Diggs is a Jameis Winston of cornerbacks. So
that's great.
That was my favorite play. It was obviously accumulation of everything leading up to a meme. But yeah, I found that quite hilarious. But the dude's, I think he's made seven picks in 6 games. Damn,
and like 3 of them are picks. He's got more. He's got more
touchdowns than some wide receivers.
Yeah, well, I was about to say until this week. Oh, actually, no, it should still be even because they both scored. He had more touchdowns than his wide receiver brother Stephon, which is insane to see. And a lot of people are like sort of hyping up the potential defensive MVP.
Yeah,
chat about it.
Yep.
But I'm like, whilst I'm saying what he's doing is incredible,
now let's get
getting burnt.
Yeah,
let's get in the MVPs. I know you had something that you wanted.
Oh, look, this is a heavy one, so I don't know if we want to talk about the games here, but so let's face it, MVP now, and I'm not gonna lie, I've stolen this conversation from Reddit, which a lot of my topics will be from.
Yep.
But it's fair to say, in the way the game's going, and it doesn't look like it's going to change for a long, long time, MVP is almost always going to go to a quarterback.
Yep.
Like now that we've seen a running back run 2,000 yards, which used to be the one thing that would change the MVP vote if a running back did that. We've now seen someone run 2,000 yards
and
without a single Pro Bowl offensive lineman and still not get it. Do we now need to just accept? And I mean, when I accept, I mean like legally binding, accept that the MVP now is a QB award. It automatically goes to the best QB award, and then the offensive
player of the year excludes.
No longer goes to QB. So now that actually adds prestige to it because it's no longer just going to, especially with the NFL, they love to double up on awards, which I kind of get. If someone's that valuable, why wouldn't they be there? But if we make the decision to that the MVP is a QB award, and now offensive player there is a skill set position, and that now automatically makes it more interesting. And now we get to actually value players who do amazing things, but just don't hold the value of a quarterback. I think it needs to be done.
This is when you look at like some of those players that are just names besides Carr, you've still got like Mahomes will be chasing all year, basically. Yep. So he'll be throwing big numbers. You got Brady who's leading the charge at the moment. You got Stafford, Prescott who's playing out of his skin. You got your boy Herbert who's been balling up until late.
Yeah, we ignore the
but
last
anyway,
one.
but so you got this close horse race, but then you got this one running back with Derrick Henry, who's a fucking monster. Do they just go if it's too close to call? Do they just go with a running back?
I don't even know that they go for the running back when it's too close to call.
If he just
they just automatically go with the quarterback. I think. But what I will say on that is that I kind of you're right. If you then are a non-quarterback, right, and you put up what is just the most undeniably amazing season, that you actually beat out a quarterback that throws for 5,000 yards, I feel like it almost devalues it because you won't get that opportunity anymore. Mm-hmm. And as unlikely as it is, and it's been ages since anyone does it, I mean, it's the same thing with the Heisman winner, right? It goes to non-quarterbacks more often than the MVP, but it means that there isn't that opportunity to say, this guy who is a non-quarterback played so amazing in his position, and we all know that you need to play beyond amazing to beat out a quarterback, that he still won it. If the situation is in reality that if you told me, okay, but Curtis, for the next 50 years, it'll all be quarterbacks and it'll take 51 years for a non-quarterback,
scenario.
Then I'm thinking, okay, maybe not. Maybe we do change it.
Because, it's just, I feel like they get lost behind the offensive player of the year because it's considered just the second best quarterback, which I think is just stupid. I think
that is,
as I said, you think you just have to accept that MVP is going to go to quarterback because by the nature of the game and the nature of offense, the quarterback holds that much value of your wins and losses.
Yep.
You really can't even say that about Derrick Henry.
Yep.
So I think we just accept that, and now we just instead of trying to try to fit a square peg into a round hole almost, we just start valuing the other positions, that other award that we add value to the Offensive Player of the Year award now.
And remove, I think
the
there's
Defensive Player of the Year, because
there isn't a similar player on that side of the ball.
And we know that it's just not realistic that a defensive player is going to win MVP. No. People actually pay attention to who wins Defensive Player of the Year. That value isn't the same with the Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, good point.
So as I said, if we remove quarterbacks out of it, now all of a sudden there's a value to all those players who are balling out there. Some wide receivers who have crazy years. Calvin Johnson in his big year.
I've got the last players to win MVP. It was...
I know who they are. LT,
Yeah, 2006.
Yeah.
Where he scored... What was it? 38 touchdowns. I should know.
28 rushing touchdowns, around for over 1,800 yards. But
prior to that,
is Derrick Henry going to? Should blow that out the water, right?
No, he's got time. He's got time. The LT's records are hard.
You got on this, but you got to understand. I've tried to beat LT's record on Madden. That is hard. 28 touchdowns is a lot. It's 30 if you include the 2 passing touchdowns he threw that year.
Yeah.
28 touchdowns is insane. He was rocking off 4 touchdowns a game.
Also, that was in the middle. That might have been year 3 of what was like a 3-year run of him doing that consecutive years. It wasn't like it was 1 year he did it and everyone was like, well, of course he's the MVP. Yeah. It's like he keeps doing this every year. I guess now we have to give him the MVP because he's playing unbelievably. Derrick Henry needs to put 2 more seasons together, I think, before he even gets close to doing what LT was doing at the time.
No, because his yardage is insane.
Everyone here that's in front of me have all been that wasn't a quarterback, dating back to 1993, 1998, 2000, obviously 2006 was LT, have all been running backs.
Is there a Lawrence Taylor in there? Like 1986?
Marshall Faulk in 2000, Terrell Davies in 1998, Emmitt Smith in 1993.
I think if you go back to 1947, there's a kicker.
There'll be a kicker. There'll be a kicker.
That's a fact.
Yeah. Jerry Rice in 1987 was wide receiver.
Okay, so that's why Lawrence Taylor doesn't
You only have to be arguably the best player in the history of football. So that's what I'm saying. We need to accept it is what it is.
If Lawrence Taylor never won an MVP, then defensive players just can't win MVP then, right?
Precisely. Ray Lewis didn't have it in his big year.
Ray Lewis.
Lawrence Taylor. Yep. JJ Watt was crazy close in his prime.
Michael Strahan, didn't he get 22, 23 sacks in a season?
22 and a half, wasn't it?
22 and a half, the most sacks ever. And the most sacks in a game that year, I think, as well. He got 6 sacks in a single game. Defensive players just can't win it at all.
But that's why Defensive Player of the Year is a valuable award.
Yeah.
JJ Watt came second behind Aaron Rodgers in 2014, and he got 13 out of the 50 MVP votes.
That's an insane amount of votes.
Which is the most a defensive player's ever won. He came the closest ever.
Yeah, especially when you consider someone like Russell Wilson's never had a vote.
Okay, this takes us on another tangent, but a Defensive Player of the Year, can you not win it unless you're a pass rusher?
Yeah, Gilmore won it.
Okay,
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Ray Lewis won it. There were plenty of good linebackers, especially in that running era.
I would still say Ray Lewis. If you got to rack up sacks.
Maybe in today's
game,
but I guess what's his name? Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald
He's both.
He's both.
I still think there's plenty. There's still place. Didn't Luke Kuechly win it as well? Houston. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And safeties. I think
safeties
Ed Reed won it 1 year.
Yeah.
Well, surely Polamalu did.
Polamalu would have won it 1 year.
This brings me to another one. We're jumping all across. We've done all our big plays, yeah?
Yeah. Mine just led to the meme.
Okay, perfect. Because this brings us to another point I wanted to talk about regarding safeties. And one of the safeties who would be in the conversation with Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, Sean Taylor.
Yep.
R.I.P. Washington's trying to save face right now. You can't tell me that the decision to randomly retire his number this year wasn't to try and distract from the dumpster fire that's going on at head office.
When his dad comes out and says, I didn't know this was even happening until maybe a week ago. 14
years after his passing. You got to say that you had more important things to do between now and then. You've made the playoffs twice. So, let's call them out. That's for posturing.
Yep.
Let's get that out of the way
100%.
First. Secondly, now this brings it back to you, and I'm sure you know what I'm going to talk about. What the hell is your boy's brother doing? Dude. Jackson Mahomes,
Dude, he is...
Explain what happened.
He's a problem.
I feel so
He's
sorry
a problem.
for Not only him, but oh man, I really hope Patrick Mahomes never listens to this podcast.
Hope he does.
Yeah, I hope he does. But I want him to, but then I'm like, oh, she's going to hear me talking shit about his family.
Jackson is his
his
name,
wife's
right?
a bit of a pain in the ass too, dude.
She was tweeting up a storm like every last
She
couple
always
years,
does.
hasn't
And then, but yeah, his brother is he's a lemon, dude. Every week he's like trying to be the center of attention, and then obviously to do the TikTok dance on like the number, and then he comes out and says what he's doing.
So for those who don't know, Jackson Mahomes, Pat Mahomes' younger brother, how old is he? Is he 17, 18? He looks pretty young. He might be 21 or something.
College age.
He's probably college age now. Is a flamboyant TikToker. TikToker? Is that what you call them? TikToker?
I guess you maybe you broadly call it
21.
Influencer.
Influencer, broadly
21.
called.
Specializing in the field of
21.
TikTok.
Okay, 21. Definitely old enough to know better.
Yep.
A 21-year-old influencer, let's say, who, from what I can tell, his main talent is being Patrick Mahomes' brother.
Yes.
And so he probably has more than a million followers on TikTok or something. Sure, great. Is a never-ending, almost embarrassment. Well, at this point, more than an embarrassment. But prior to what he did this weekend. So this weekend, there's a memorial for Sean Taylor. For those that don't know, he was probably one of the greatest safeties that ever played the game, and definitely one of the, if not the best player to ever play for the Washington football team. They retire his number in the most recent game. They have a cordoned off section on the sideline
On the
21-yard line with his number there that's obviously cordoned off for a reason, and he decides to jump over it and record himself twerking or whatever on the number, dancing for his TikTok. So not only is it immensely disrespectful, why is he even allowed on the sidelines?
The Mahomes family were allowed.
Okay, all right.
I guess when you
it's
make
one of those
When you
things
making yeah.
I don't know how you say it, like as like a fan, and it's kind of like that annoying.
He's the cliche. He's the cliche character.
You know what?
The
worst thing is?
Success.
He's not going anywhere.
No,
we've got Mahomes for like 10 years. So he's not going anywhere. So we're just going to have to put up with him and just be like, it's kind of like, yeah, we know he's an annoying piece of shit, but like, do we really want to like get rid of him in order? Because does Mahomes get cut?
Just getting rid of Jackson mean getting rid of Patrick.
Like, so
You
like,
just
do we
invested
like,
$500 million in this
do we
guy.
just put up with this shithead for the next 10 years? And then like once Patrick moves on, it's kind of like, okay, now we can put shit on him.
This is where you're having serious conversations about.
Yeah, I mean, someone needs to sit him down. This needs to be a bit of a wake-up call, right? And it's horrible because it's making us sound like we're boomers or something. Like, oh, you're TikToking and no job, but like he can do whatever he wants to do. It's fine. It's just when you're pulling shit like this and actually making your family's life harder, or at least
Who is
Pat's
your
life,
meal ticket?
who is your only chance at having all the money you guys have got. And when he's doing I think he's pouring water on fans.
Yeah,
He's
the Ravens game.
The Ravens game.
I can allow
pouring
that to
crap
be
on
fair,
fans,
I mean.
and look, it's fine. But look, your brother has so much riding on this and has to do so much to keep his image in check, right? You don't think Patrick would like to bloody chuck a beer on a dumb fan or call someone out for being an idiot? He would love to do that, I'm sure, but he can't.
Can you not just enjoy being part of the 1%? God damn.
It's immensely frustrating.
Can
Like-
I just... Sorry.
And I don't even like, I've got no words for it. Like when I saw the TikTok thing, I was like, oh man. And then it blew up, and then it's okay for Juju Sousa to do a dance on the the Browns logo? Or
I think so.
Yeah, like I'm cool with that.
That's
But don't be
that's
like,
rivalry
but then to
stuff.
come out and tweet and say you don't know what you were doing.
You're a 21-year-old.
You knew
man
exactly
at this
what
point.
you
Yeah.
were doing, dude.
Yep.
Like, give it a rest.
Because you wanted the clout. Can I say that I'm going to do something really annoying here, Sam? I'm going to assume you're going to be the one editing this. Can we go back to when Curtis is breaking it down? And can you make sure it's your angle? Because you looked visibly embarrassed.
Dude, it is. That's the best thing. Like when you like look at the social media posts and everything, and you see all these things about Jackson Mahomes, like I was touching on before, like our defense kept Washington to 0 points, and I know it was the Redskins, blah blah blah, but that's still a big thing for our defense. The way we've been going this year, and then for for what he did to become the center of attention and take away from the way we played and, the hole we've been in to sort of like drag ourselves out of it. Just then obviously all the attention go to like that from a Kansas City Chiefs point of view is just embarrassing. You know what I mean?
And I'm sorry, but is that just not just a reflection of the, like, to be so insensitive and so like intentionally unaware of your surroundings? Like if he was just doing it on the field or in there, whatever, I get it. But you've made the active decision, and I know like maybe at one point you were told to stand there. According to some of the photos, it looks like the Mahomes family was told to go there for some stupid reason, which I think is a fail on Washington's part as well. Yeah. I think they've got a part to blame in here. But you can't say that you're not aware that you're standing on what's clearly a designed cordon off bit with emotional investment behind it. You're not going to pretend like you're like, oh, maybe I should not do this on top of this. Like, there's no way you can justify ignorance there.
I mean, to tie it in a bow, though, let's make sure that we're not more angry about this idiot kid than the Washington football team who got done for or haven't even been done for full-on sex slavery and are now using this retirement to try and clear their image. And now that I'm thinking about it, maybe they just gave a few bucks to Jackson to dance on that to distract from the whole thing.
Or even the security guard just got paid an extra couple of grand just to blind eye that situation.
Let's get everyone talking about this while all our stuff over here we don't have to talk about anymore.
100%.
Man, look at them still trying to use Sean Taylor to defend their final third. Sean Taylor still playing defense from up there.
So just to wrap up this, obviously talking about Jackson Mahomes and MVPs, do you think Patrick Mahomes has blown his MVP shot 6 weeks in already?
No, because if you can pull him back here and get yourself to the conference championship, there's a narrative.
NFL loves a story.
Pick. So that's good to know that I'm still in the game.
NFL loves a story. If it's a good story, then it's better than anything else.
Because if all of a sudden you guys go 10 wins in a row here and get yourself back to the top of the AFC West, it's going to be how Patrick Mahomes did something with nothing. He had to play in spite of his defense.
And he's going to have to do it putting up big numbers. And
stuff like that. So, but just to finish off, because this segues nicely to some of the topics. Huge win. I'm not going to deny it. Huge win of the Ravens over my Chargers. I think you guys were going to be nice enough to give me a pass there, but
I was like, because I got up early for the get, because obviously the Chiefs were playing at the same time, the 3 a.m. slot in Australia, along with your Chargers, and that game kind of got away very quickly for you guys. And I was seeing if Kenny was up. I was like, Kenny, where you at? Actually, were you the 3 a.m. or were you the one after?
No, I was 3 a.m.
Yeah, you were 3 a.m.
3 a.m.
Yeah, and I was like, I kind of left it until the game was sort of over, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I was surprised with how well managed you guys were.
Because that game, dude, I picked the Chargers to win that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people
I think most people did. Can you call it an upset win though? It's not like the Ravens are a bad team.
What happened? Like, because I didn't watch it. So
yeah. So what happened is the Ravens chose to run it, and were never told no.
and run it.
One of the announcers said it perfectly. I don't know who was calling that game. It wasn't the usual Chargers callers, but it looked like a varsity team versus a JV team where they chose to run the ball. And let me give it a little bit of context. Firstly, we've been suspect against the run all season long. And I gave that benefit of the doubt because based on, if you take a deep dive into how Staley's defensive scheme runs, it's designed for the modern offense where you defend the pass and you prevent leakage against the run. So to allow the too high look, so you can defend, you have the numbers advantage against the pass. It involves one of those safeties, usually the backside safety on a play, filling in his gap late.
Yep.
So you need a bit of athleticism at safety, which is all good and well until you don't have Aaron Donald in the front, and you actually have linebackers. And for those who don't know, we had one actual starting caliber linebacker in our lineup this week, who's actually a former safety in Kaiser White, who grabbed us 2 picks and a sack. Can't complain on that. Helped me out in fantasy. But don't have Kenneth Murray and didn't have Drew Tranquil.
Yep.
And we had special teamers and Kaiser White filling in at linebacker, and it showed. So On top of that, that explains why we had 30-odd points put on us. What it doesn't explain is how the hell we only scored 6. We still had MVP candidate Justin Herbert, all of our wide receivers, and Austin Eckler in the backfield. And Joe Lombardi had a shocker. Our fourth downs finally regressed to the means. Regarding
we
stuff
called
like
it.
that.
We called it.
Yeah, we had a lot of curl routes dropped on fourth down, which still doesn't address the issue of our inability to convert on third.
Do you put it more on the receivers or Herbert? Or the scheme?
Herbert didn't. I think schematics have a lot to do with it there. I've been saying for a while, a lot of people are calling for Lombardi's head in Charger Nation, which I think is just a complete overreaction. He has led us to a 4-2 record and allowed Herbert to ball out. I've been a little critical of saying that I think we've lost a bit of verticalness to our game, and Lombardi's brought over the offense that Sean Payton and Drew Brees perfected. There's even a book about it I'm intending to read, which is very, very horizontal, and it's worked for Brees. Brees didn't have the cannon arm that Herbert did, and he said in preseason when he was hired that he intends to tailor it to Herbert. He's not expecting Herbert to play in that offense perfectly, as we lose one camera.
It's too hot. Apparently.
You can tell I'm getting heated.
Cut into this one now.
So, I think that we're probably lacking a bit of vertical action to it. And you look at the plays there. We had a Mike Williams drop, which probably put us behind the 8 ball. Keenan Allen's gone missing the last 2 weeks. As I said, I think I said when we were getting excited about the Chargers initially, we're one offensive line injury away from it happening. Now we're 2 offensive linemen down. We've lost our left guard, Ode Abushi, and our left tackle, Balaga. So we're down to Schofield fill in admirably, but we're down to 2 offensive. A whole new right side of the line's gone missing. So, it just led to a disaster there. I think offensively we've got to play a lot better, but defensively it was expected.
Was Herbert under pressure?
I think it was. I'm not going to lie. I admitted to you boys pre-show that I did clock out after halftime.
Yeah.
It was 3 o'clock in the morning. I stayed up the whole night to watch the Miami-Jacksonville game. So at that point, I'm like, I'm not losing sleep over this.
Yep.
Quite literally.
I think bump in the road, right? It's not how you guys wanted to go into your bye week, but it's probably a good thing to happen prior to going into the bye week, right? You don't really want to go into that week resting on your laurels, thinking you're invincible. Probably the wake-up call that they needed, and they've got time to now go back and look at what they're doing, what are we doing scheme-wise, how are we playing, where are our... self-scouting, right? It's one of the most important parts any team can do. Where are we fucking up? And how are we going to improve this? So they've got plenty of time.
It allows you to get healthy as well. We'll have Kenneth Murray coming back from IR, and we'll have Drew Tranquil back.
Reinforcements.
But when you lose your 3 starting linebackers or 2 starting linebackers, one's supposed to be rotational and almost like an edge guy. But we also couldn't get. We got 3 sacks, but Joey Bosa needs help. He was getting triple teamed and stuff like that. And Wusu hasn't produced to the point. I know we got a sack on the weekend, but he hasn't quite gotten to that Melvin Ingram replacement style of player. But I've selfishly used it as an opportunity to talk about the Chargers. I really wanted to talk about how has the NFL been sleeping on Mahomes for the first 5 weeks of the season, and should he not arguably be the leading MVP candidate? He lost his starting 2 running backs in the preseason. Has been the running attack.
Lamar. You mean Lamar.
Who did I talk about? Mahomes?
You said Mahomes.
Apologies. I've got a Mahomes jersey in the face. A very Lamar. Extra large Mahomes jersey.
I know what you mean.
Lamar, he's carried his team to a 5-1 record.
Murray got injured on the weekend too.
So he's
down 3.
Keeps losing all his running. So
he's got Devontae Freeman.
And
the corpse. Yeah, the corpse of
if it was 5 years ago, he'd be like, let's go, baby.
Le'Veon Bell, who, let me stress, I'm going to go back to another gripe I had, wearing number 17, which is pissing me off.
Yep. It's horrible. It does not look right.
Take this clip 5 years down when all running backs are wearing team numbers, but I think it's stupid. But he's been the team's rushing attack. He's been the team's passing attack.
Yep.
And he's collected big scalps on the way. He ended
Mahomes,
the Broncos' undefeated record. He beat Mahomes, took them to the end there.
Yep.
Dismantled the Chargers. Should he not be the leading in a team where he's lost his bell cow backs, lost now his left tackles on IR?
Yep.
I hate to say it because I've got a lot of money invested in MVPs not named Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
But if we were to crown an MVP right now, I think it would be Lamar and a coin flip.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that slightly devalues him not having his running backs again is he has the ability to.
I think you're going to say
sound
he was
horrible.
black.
He has the ability to be his own running back, and I don't want to do all the he's a running back. He's of course not. Yeah. He's an amazing quarterback, but then also just how much that scheme is tailored to having a really efficient run game. You know, they probably run out of the pistol more than anyone in
Easily.
the NFL,
Without
right?
question.
Without question. It would be ridiculous. The type of formations they run, their RPOs, all of that stuff has led to a really efficient running game. And you can kind of plug and play running backs into that scheme as long as they're the right type. I don't think you can put Derrick Henry there and have him run off Lamar. And I mean, he's still going to truck dudes,
you could.
but I think they changed the scheme slightly.
They run a lot of power.
Yeah.
And that's handy. I mean, actually, weirdly, I was watching a lot of freaking inside zone from Derrick Henry in that game, which surprised me. I thought there'd be a lot more like traps and run plays, but I guess you want to simplify it if you've got a guy like that who's running. But sorry, I completely interrupted for no reason.
No, you're right. I think.
I mean, they got the Bengals this week. Bengals have been playing really well, so it doesn't get any easier. So,
well, again, if he gets the job done, I said if he came out and he beat the Chargers, it's got to put him on the map. He not only beat the Chargers, he fucking smoked them.
Destroyed him, yeah.
Yep.
No, I think, look, he's always going to be, if he continues to play like this, he's going to be back in that MVP. He's already got one, so he can do it again.
He's proven there, and he was $15 before the Chargers game. He's got to be down to single digits now.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
really wish I got on him then.
Yeah.
Because that stock's only going up. You know, though the offensive line, is probably not helpful. All the changes are going across there. It'll be also whether his defense can help him out as well, which they're starting to do.
They're starting to do. You're starting to see some of that like tough, gritty Ravens of old that you haven't seen for weeks.
They are missing Matthew Judon, though, I'll say
They are. Yeah.
I'm missing Matthew Judon.
what's going on with the Giants?
Of course, we have to go here. I mean, it's not.
Tough
I'm
one.
actually
Another tough
more
one?
than tough.
Who's
And
playing?
the Rams. Didn't expect to win, right? But that score looks much better than how the game actually played out.
How many starters did you guys end up rolling out?
So on that game we were missing pretty much we had two starting. Kadarius Toney shouldn't really have been starting. He wasn't a starting wide receiver, but we have basically two starting wide receivers. Kadarius Toney went down probably the first drive of the game. Andrew Thomas went down.
Now on
IR, starting left tackle. And basically as soon as those two went down, everything turned to crap. The Giants actually put a really nice first drive together. If you're going to find something to be proud
why did
about.
Jones only get 3 snaps. Oh,
That's his
sorry,
carries.
That's
That's
rushing.
his
I was looking at
rushing.
the wrong thing.
I was
like, what the hell?
So nothing went right. Literally nothing went right. Jones turned the ball over almost 5 times. If one of those fumbles wasn't recovered by his offensive lineman, he would have turned the ball over 5 times. 3 interceptions, 2 fumbles, 1 lost. That offensive line could not do anything.
Weren't you just giving him props like the other week about his ball handling and not fumbling?
I know, yeah.
And against the Rams, you can't do that, man.
No, you can't. And I think there's
gonna put points
there's
on
an argument to be made too that he shouldn't have been left in that game. I was fully expecting him to be pulled at halftime because by halftime, I think it was 28-3. Stafford got pulled. They pulled Stafford, early in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
Why not pull Danny? And there's this argument if you're listening to WFAN with the coach talk and stuff that we want to fight, and pulling our quarterback out shows the rest of our team we're not going to fight. Maybe it's not worth fighting the rest of that one. Sometimes the best decision is to know when you've been beat and just take it on the chin and regroup for next time. This team is, I'm I'm conscious of the fact that Joe Judge, while his kind of rah-rah attitude, and he was the darling of the media and the fans all last year, that he took what is a crap team and made them slightly below average.
Yeah.
That's where all his goodwill came from. He's losing that very quickly this year. And if this team doesn't start to play better, and again, the thing I keep saying is I'm very scared that all the injuries is going to mean everyone's going to go, we were all injured, so we're going to go into next year and it'll be fine. With the same team, it's one of those things where I don't even know where to start. Is it the scheme? Is it the players? Is it are players just not executing properly? Is it all of the combined? And I think it's a confluence of everything's going wrong with this team. Nothing's going right. And it doesn't matter if you have maybe the defense has an okay week or something, because it's just not enough. This team can't overcome even like a couple of injuries. So when the whole team gets injured, they can't overcome any of it.
House of Cards.
Look, I'm going to be probably talking about next week a Giants loss to the Panthers, because I actually think the Panthers are playing pretty well this year.
Yeah, they have been. I think
CMC is gone.
McCaffrey's still 3 weeks away, so you don't.
He's on IR. You don't have to worry about that. And again, up until the so one of the other things we can look at is that the Giants defense held the Rams to 3 points on the first drive, which no other team has done this year to the Rams. The Rams have scored a touchdown on every one of their opening drives until this year. So they held them there. They actually held them scoreless until just before halftime. It was basically a 5-minute complete collapse on the defensive side, where in 5 minutes they racked up, 16 points or something.
Yeah.
Something ridiculous. So there's little pieces of bright sparks here and there, but the Rams, though, they're looking good. I would say
they bounced back from their rough loss last week.
Yeah. I think Stafford, I was not high on Stafford coming in and saving the day for the Rams. I will take the L on that. He is what they needed. He is that upgrade from Goff.
I'm so happy for him
He's
as well.
Goff versus Stafford.
Yes, actually. Yeah, this week. That's going to be ugly.
Where Goff balls out, and I don't know, but I doubt it.
I doubt it.
I think they get pumped by 40.
I don't think there's any there's no loser for me in that game, because it's either Stafford gets to shine in the place that he was held back for so many long years.
Where is it? Who's at home?
Who is at home? I thought it was at.
I can never know with NFL, because sometimes they put the home team. It must be at Rams, right?
Is that Rams?
It's on they're on the left.
No, what is it? Scroll down usually. SoFi Stadium. Okay, I was wrong.
Okay, so
I guess to prove in front of the old team that held him back, or alternatively, Dan Campbell, who is like the NFL's most lovable coach at the moment,
I feel
gets his
bad for
first
Dan.
win in SoFi. So I don't really.
It's
care
the
about
Lions,
situation
though.
there.
There's so much pain. You just expect that it's going to be more pain.
They used to share that with the Browns, and now
They
the
did.
Browns are like going off doing
Browns
their
are-
thing.
Yeah.
They've glowed
Mind
up.
you, Browns picked up a couple injuries at running back.
Dude, they're going to be down there.
Browns.
Yeah, Chubb and Kareem
Yep.
both
I mean,
out. I'm thinking
good
about
thing-
taking the
Bronx,
Bronx
I mean-
on the spread. It's 3 at the moment. I thought it'd be a little more generous
there.
than that.
Okay.
I'm hoping that pushes it out to at least 6.
And what's his face? His shoulder's buggered.
Yeah,
he's popping out.
it's
He's going to play
labrum.
on, apparently. Fuck, good on him. But yeah, that's an exciting game. Obviously, you got Chiefs Titans. That'll be big. Derrick Henry will probably run for 500 yards.
Yeah, Chiefs Titans is going to be huge.
That'll be good. And then obviously Ravens Bengals. I think that's one of, apart from the Chiefs and Titans, Ravens
Bengals for sure.
That one's going to be good, because Bengals are playing good, and I think
It'll be nice that the AFC North rivalries have always been my favorite.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's nice to see the Bengals being able to compete
Because
again.
the Bengals,
Yes, it's
the Bengals
really
can
good.
get beat by all these teams, right? And then they'll come up against the Steelers and the Ravens, and they'll be like,
We can
"Let's
do
go!
that. Yeah.
We're gonna do everything we can to beat you guys."
Because there are some divisions that have always had that. I would say the NFC East is one, right? Where every team in the division, no matter how good they are, can take the other team to the wire.
Yep.
Regardless, because they're basically built to just go against one another. That's another division. You have with the Dolphins and the Pats
And AFC East.
AFC East, where for years, it was just dominated at the top.
I was about to say, don't you dare try to sell me that.
No,
Position.
it is not.
Division.
So that's what I mean. Some divisions are just not built that way at all. It's as if they're not built to beat one another. So you just, and I don't know if it's really just goes along those historical old teams that have always been in the same division and always have fought against each
It
other.
always comes down to clubs with good culture. Like the AFC North's always been exciting because you have the Steelers Ravens, who are founded on great, wonderful club culture. And then occasionally, particularly in the noughties, you'd have the what do you call it? The
Big
Bengals.
touch someone.
The Bengals.
Just play up. I don't know.
Yeah, the Bengals back in the Carson Palmer days with TJ Hushmanzada and Chad Johnson, nay Ochocinco, nay Johnson. In those days, and then even at that one year where the Browns had like Braylon Edwards firing, and, and they were they had Josh Cribb as well during that time, Joshua Cribbs.
Who is the Bengal? Who's the Bengals linebacker that just always is the dirtiest dude in the world, like the dirtiest player ever? Used to be on the Bengals. I don't think he's on the Bengals anymore. Tried to like break a dude's leg on the field. No, I'm gonna.
That was that against the Steelers?
You guys can keep talking, but I'm gonna find.
Oh no, I know exactly who you're talking about. The guy who possibly made AJ
Vontae's perfect. Vontae's perfect.
Yeah. Who's MIA now? Rightly so. The dude's a freaking
psycho.
Dirtiest player I've ever seen.
No, it was. I thought it was the coolest thing when Juju after that. This is what made me so mad that AJ Brown was so mad at Juju. Like straight after that, Juju came and lit him up, and defended him. Like I thought that was one of the coolest plays I've seen from a wide receiver in this decade. That guy was crazy. And like, didn't he? Then they ended up both reuniting during Brown's short stint at the Raiders.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Jesus, wasn't he a mess?
Yeah. So there's a couple of good games on this week. I would say, definitely the ones to watch would be Ravens, Bengals, Titans, Chiefs. I would say actually,
I can't even stress how big of a game this is for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Like I know I've said that. Like I kind of knew we were going to get through Washington. I was a bit worried after 3 turnovers in the first half. I was like, oh fuck, not again. And I think the other big game was obviously the Chargers game. I kind of put the Bills game down as an L before the season started. I knew the Bills were going to come out and show up there, but this game now, in the grand scheme of things, we got to win. We got to win, especially with the Chargers being on a bye.
That's a tough team to win against, too.
Yeah, 100%. And it looks like
it's
at Titans as well. So, and they're coming off a huge win against the Bills.
Did you guys see their attempt of recreating the Music City Miracle?
No.
Oh, they of one of the kick, or maybe it was a punt. It was either kick return or punt return. They've tried. Do you know what the Musical City Miracle is? So back in the playoffs against.
No, I haven't seen it. No.
It has one of my favorite plays. It had Lorenzo Neal in it. Basically, off a kickoff, they fielded it one side and then set up. I think it's Andre Dyson back across the field off a kickoff return.
Oh, was
launched
that
it across the field and they returned it, and they called it the Music City Miracle. They scored off that and they tried to recreate it.
Yeah,
and they threw it like 7 yards forward. As I said, American football inability to throw backwards passes. Was so far on display there. Nothing I want to touch on. I was just reminded when we were talking about the Steelers just a second ago. Did you guys see the overtime TJ Watt punch out? Either one of the TJ punches?
I did, actually. Yeah. Either one. He was throwing combos. He was uppercuts. He was coming heavy down, like big overhands. There were hooks. I don't really... I get it. You know, he's saying he's trying to knock the ball out. That's what he's going to say, right? I've never seen someone do it like that.
Sucks, man. I don't, seriously, give me a year, train me a quarterback, and if I can't play better than quarterback position than Geno Smith, seriously.
Come on, he wasn't that bad.
Come on, man, he sucks, bro.
I've seen worse. Like freaking Nathan Peterman. I've seen that guy play. You want to make the statement of that guy? I get it.
Geno is boring. I feel like he's a boring player.
He looks like
and
when he's got the ball,
bad.
he's like I can see what he's thinking. It's like he's thinking like, fuck, like he's kind of like doesn't know what he's going to do kind of thing, and how he throws is weird and it just annoys me. Anyway,
You wouldn't be the first and you won't be the last to hate Gino. I think he gets a lot of hate, and a lot of it's deservedly so. He got punched.
Did you see what's his name, Jamal Adams, do his thing
best
about
in the nation,
and then he dropped the easiest safety like
gets meloned in the face.
But yeah, I think Gino sucks.
Yeah,
Was he the number one draft pick back in the day?
he was top of the second.
Second, yeah.
It was
the Jets, right?
No,
Was
it
that the-
No, it was like the one of the worst.
Was that the EJ Manuel year? And just
It was
one of the worst QB
I just remember
classes.
it being one of the worst QB classes around. Geno Smith got picked, and it was another wonderful pick by the New York Jets.
Just
The
quickly
Jets picking- the Jets picking quarterbacks.
on the TJ punches though. The peanut punch.
Wish we
right?
had a ball hedge. So you could
Peanut punch was Peanut Tillman. He would go directly for the ball. It wasn't a punch as much. It was just like a quick stab right in the area that you need to hit it, basically right on the top of the ball where it just pops out. He would do it once, and he just had amazing aim with it, and he would do it in the process of the tackle, right? He made sure he was securing the tackle, but one of his hands was free, and he would just pop it out all the time. What TJ Watt was doing was straight up just body punch, like straight up punching this dude as many times as he could.
I think so. If
you're a Watt, do you just get favored by the refs?
Possibly. I mean, maybe. But if you were to put up a Peanut Tillman punch highlight, even if you had no context of football, you can understand what's going down. That looks like a football play.
Yeah.
If you were to then take out of context the TJ Watt just standing up a dude and just going, "Us, you fucking dog," it just would look like, they said it right, like it looks like a bloke getting assaulted.
Yeah, it does.
It looked like 3 a.m. outside Fridays. It was honestly, but anyway, I'm so surprised. I mean, he had defense there. I thought for a second he could have been getting ejected. Some of that.
I thought he was.
I thought.
But then he comes back into the game, breaks off a triple team block, and forces a fumble to win the game.
Yeah,
so
that's huge.
That guy is definitely earning his money.
Do you know what? Do you know what's hilarious? And I don't know if we'll have it. But one of the funniest things I'll ever see watching this game is Big Ben taking a snap and then diving on the ground.
Was that 2 games?
It is
ago?
one. No, he did it on the weekend.
It happened again?
Just to get like 1 yard this way. He's like the effort that he has to put into just falling over is astronomical. The guy's hilarious. Everything he does, he makes it look like so hard. Like even
everything is so hard
triple
for him.
pumps. He's like da, and then he just flings like a ball. Like how do people do that? I don't know. But anyway, Big Ben, he's hilarious, man. When he falls over like that, it's the funniest thing ever.
How out of the 3 quarterbacks?
I was going to say, and
he's the
Ben
last to
is
retire.
Yeah.
But obviously, he should have retired exactly when Philly did last year.
Yeah.
Or even when Eli Manning did.
Even when Eli did. If anyone had a
he did go
thought.
11-0 last year, but he died real quick.
And he was the most injury prone of them all. He's the most.
This has got to be his last year, right?
It has to be. He's playing horribly.
You're holding your team back.
Yes, holding your team back, and it's not even like that. Peyton's year with the Broncos, where he's just like a
Rivers did
broken.
and maybe go somewhere for a year, maybe.
It'd have to be a pretty bad team.
Yeah, well,
And he's not getting much money either.
Yeah,
no one's paying for Big Ben.
But
Except for maybe Buffalo Wild Wings for an ad.
He's not on Tom Brady's diet. No. And I'm telling you, he doesn't have a cook like Tom Brady or a masseuse like Tom Brady.
Or a wife like Tom Brady.
Actually, he does kind of prove that if your entire workout regime consists of just like sitting on the couch, drinking beer and eating wings, you too could be an NFL quarterback. Not a good one, but...
Yeah.
But didn't he come out like this, obviously, and I know so many players do this as a cliche, but didn't he come out and say he felt like he was in the best shape
of course.
his career?
Yeah.
But, just to add, to touch on this, I mean, look, if he is on the way out, vacated, that's a team that's built and ready for a quarterback to come in and nest. I know a certain All-Pro, current reigning MVP quarterback who's looking for a new team next year.
Yeah, I don't know. Rodgers
flirting with Mike Tomlin.
Rodgers to the Steelers seems like a weird one. It makes sense in terms of similar type of team, similar type of city, similar I feel like Rodgers really wants to just be back in California and to see out his days on the beach.
If it keeps him out of the freaking AFC West,
Yeah.
freaking Steelers take him.
Yeah.
Sorry to bring up another meme. Did you see the one I shared on Facebook?
Yeah.
It's like about like
Rodgers,
you know how to handle your brother about Jackson Mahomes. And it's the picture of Aaron Rodgers like talking to Patrick, and it's like, just stop talking to your family.
Did I miss that, mate? Like, did I miss what went down with Rodgers?
Maybe.
I don't. My girlfriend knows a lot about the Rodgers because I think his brother was on The Bachelor or something.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was.
And
Yeah,
anyway,
that's
like
right.
they love getting dressed up at Christmas time, and my girlfriend thinks that's the cutest thing in the world. And anyway, whereas like I'm like Team A-Rod, and then she's like Aaron Rodgers is a dickhead, and I'm like, what? How?
He knows
like, I
what he
don't know.
wants.
And then, but yeah, I think he for some reason he's cut off the rest of his family. I don't know the reason behind it, but
Yeah, he just doesn't
Maybe
talk
a
to
quick
him
Google
anymore.
would-
I'm sure there's plenty of gossip rags that can talk about it. But yeah, it's something to do with some Bachelor thing. And then he was dating Olivia Munn. And then
They
there
were married
was
to what's her face from? She's the chick who was in that.
Shailene Woodley.
Shailene Woodley,
Yeah.
yeah.
And apparently that's weird too.
super
I've
weird. I don't
heard.
think she wears
Yeah.
deodorant. She's one of those people.
Yeah, I think she's a bit of a
She's
weirdo, right?
hippie-esque.
Hippie-esque.
Yeah. But yeah, how about him scoring the touchdown and just being like to the
Yeah.
fans, like, I own you. I still own you.
I was watching.
Man, that would, if I was a Bears fan, that would piss me off so much.
Again, I'm going to return to Reddit here. Someone,
Yeah.
the top comment on Reddit after someone posted that GIF, it was like, "Have you ever seen someone say something that triggers you so much, but it's so true that you can't say it?"
That's what every Bears fan, they didn't even say anything back. They're just looking at him like, he's right.
I was watching the Pat McAfee interview because he obviously does Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays with Pat, and he just claims he's like, in retrospect, I wish I could have said a little more "we" than "me."
Yeah.
But I just kind of blacked out because all I saw was just like a sea
saw-
of people flipping
yeah.
me the bird. And I'm like, hey, I'm blaming, man.
Just
I'm all
went
for it.
psycho. Yeah.
Credit
That was
to him, man.
hilarious. It was actually a pretty awesome weekend of football.
yeah, it
There
was.
was a lot of drama, a lot of,
Some of his.
you know. Oh, yeah.
I mean, this season so far has
It's been
produced
so
some
good,
gold.
man. I'm so keen,
some
especially
absolute gold.
I know because obviously we're AFC. Like, we're stacked, man. Like
AFC
you got
is
the
100%
Titans that just beat the
stacked.
Bills. You got the Chiefs that are looking kind of good. You got like the Chargers that are going to be making a run as well, and like obviously the Bills. Who else have we got there? The Ravens.
Actually, this brings me to a topic. I was going to save it
The
for
Bengals, man. Like, oh fuck,
Let's
it's gonna be
let's pump the
playoff.
brake on the Bengals.
Yeah,
They got a bit to go.
I don't know. I think they're solid, dude.
Well, actually, how about this? How about Jamar Chase just pulling the full wool over everyone's eyes of like, I can't catch a ball in the
Yeah.
preseason.
Yeah.
And then like leading rookie receivers for receiving touchdowns. I think he's fine.
Yep, I think he's fine.
Okay, put it this way.
He can catch.
Yeah, he can catch.
I,
he knows how to catch.
He's been doing that all right in college.
A little while. He took a year off, but yeah, clearly he's fine. Okay, quick interjection. This is a fun one. I don't know how long we're going. What are we doing for minutes?
Just ticked over an hour.
Okay. Well, fuck it. Stuff it. Don't give a shit. Okay. I used to love the old WWE Attitude Era. Do you remember like triple tag teams? Like you'd have 3 versus 3 and they'd make like all-star, like
Yep.
big universe. Okay. If you had to pick, imagine it's AFC versus NFC in a triple threat tag team. You've got to pick 3 teams from the AFC, three teams from the NFC.
Whoa.
What are you doing for your main event? If you're like Vince McMahon and you got to pick 3 AFC teams, 3
Do you
NFC
merge all the
teams.
players into one?
No,
Or
it's
is it
like just
a
imagine
knockout?
a team as a wrestler.
Yep.
Is what I'm saying.
Yep.
So you've got to create a main event. Freaking, who are you picking? And imagine like you're invested in like AFC. Who are you picking to win?
I think the NFC is kind of easy. I think you got to go Rams right now. Rams, Bucks, Green Bay. I think that's set in stone.
that's pretty
I think
easy.
that's pretty easy. The AFC is
you know,
like
Cowboys
ugh.
not tickling your fancy.
No, not. I don't think.
Well, the Cards.
Cardinal, dude, we are
Oh, dude,
completely
the
not
We
putting him enough
have-
respect.
we
on
have-
that.
we are
we
not
haven't.
talking about the
That is a
Cards
clear
enough.
We need to put some respect on the Cards name, and they're about to go 7-0 because they're playing.
Yeah,
And the Texans suck.
We are sleeping. I mean, I talked about what's his name?
We need to earmark this for next week that we need to dedicate a solid
Yeah,
amount
let's
of
watch
time
it.
to
They're
the
about to
Cards.
get. Yeah, and
we'll
we say
strap-
this
we'll-
now. They're about to get upset by freaking Davis Mills.
We'll strap in and we'll watch them beat the Texans by 50.
If they get upset here, I'm gonna laugh. So
Yeah, we'll just be
So-
like, you guys will never get talked about ever again on this podcast.
So Cardinals, are you putting them in?
Yeah,
or are
you got to
rolling?
put them in.
Okay, yeah. I'd drop Green Bay out of there then.
Fair. rough start.
Yeah,
So-
I'm actually thinking you would do Cardinals, Cowboys, Rams. Oh, Bucks. Sorry. Okay, dropping the. I'm doing.
You got to put TB12 in there, baby. Isn't it?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, I mean,
It's
their
got to
pass
be
defense
Cardinals
looking
and it's
pretty
got to be
strong.
Bucks, and then I trust the Packers over the Cowboys. I trust
okay.
Aaron Rodgers over
Okay.
Dak and the team.
So that's a blue corner.
Yep.
Who are you chucking on the Roars?
I
War
genuinely
AFC?
don't know if I can pick this.
This is tough, right? Especially with a
Yeah,
couple
I
of disappointments.
don't know. I don't know.
I'm going to put it out there. The Bills are going to be your Undertaker.
Yep.
They chuck them in.
Yep.
They've got to be in there. I think right now you've got to put the Ravens in.
Yep.
Yep.
And then I think I'm trying not to be biased because they've
No,
just had a bad
you
game.
put the Chargers in.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
I fully agree with your
who
three.
else is in the AFC? Like
You
know,
got the Titans now that just knocked off the Bills. You got, yeah, dude.
But like if you're the Chiefs, I know you've had a bad start, but you've said the Chiefs are like the Randy Orton. I
Yeah.
mean, like they'll come out and RKO someone out of nowhere. But I just think that's an interesting situation, and it's a much funner way to do power rankings than just listing teams.
It is.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Well,
Alrighty, that'll do us for today. We're just ticked over an hour. I think we've got a new segment coming up, so keep an eye on that one.
Nice.
See you guys.
See ya.